In today's video, we're going to be working on this. This is a 1930s model ZTU Minneapolis moline tractor. And in today's video, we're hopefully going to take this tractor from being stuck currently all the way to running, as well as explain to you all the unique features of a Minneapolis moline engine, as this engine has no push rods, the manifolds come out of the top of the engine, and the spark plugs are in the side of the engine. Hopefully you guys stick around with me today, see all the unique things that happen, and hopefully by the end of it, we have a nice running tractor. First things first though, it's cold outside. It's about 5 degrees outside. I'm going to go grab a smudge pot and light a fire because in my infinite wisdom, I decided to work on this outside in the wind. So sorry about the wind noise if there is any. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so now we got our heat going here. The first step in this whole project is we need to see if we can get this engine unstuck, because if we can't get this engine unstuck, this tractor's dead in the water and this is a waste of time. The guy claimed that he had it loose when he bought it, like 5-10 years ago, whenever it was, and he never messed with it and it got stuck. So with any luck, this thing will come loose pretty easy. But that doesn't always mean they're telling the truth, so we'll see what happens. At least it got some warmth outside now. It's quite nice. We got movement. It's very stiff, but we do got movement. If you guys have any questions about this tractor or know anything good about the Minneapolis moline history, please leave a comment down below. I appreciate all of it, and I try to respond to as many as I can. Alright, let's see if any of these come loose. Ooh, that's rough. Oh, we got one loose one, 2 loose ones, 3 loose ones. Well, I got them all to move, but we've currently got more stuck than loose. That's not always a good start. So here you can see the rocker arms. They're about a foot long, I'd say. I ended up taking all the ones where the valves are stuck out. That way I can get at the valves a little better. All that holds this rocker arm in is one singular nut, holds it in, so it just falls in there on top of its nut. Tighten it down, it's in. Real easy to remove. Pretty ingenious design, really. Way less parts, way simpler to use. I'll get back to working on these and hopefully we can get them all broke loose. I ended up going and machining a little adapter to go on the output shaft of the pulley. That way when I have the pulley engaged, I can actually turn it over with the output shaft, and I put a breaker bar on that, worked it back and forth a bunch. It took me most of the afternoon to break this thing fully loose, and I just kept working it back until I got a full circle out of it. Now it turns all the way around. Cylinder 4 and cylinder 1 both have compression. Cylinder 2, which is the only other one that has working valves at the moment, doesn't seem to have any compression. When you pour penetrating oil down that cylinder, you can watch it flow through the cylinder. I'm hoping that's just a worn cylinder with stuck rings and not the fact there's a hole in the piston or something far worse. We're gonna ignore it for now. I'm thinking this thing will still run. I'm not sure how good it's gonna run with the way it's looking, but we'll see. Oh, we got a lot of fuel. After trying to start it for a while, I decided in my naivety that I should try and fix the valves, because that's probably the only problem this engine had, and it might get me enough compression to get this thing to run. Little did I know I'd have more in store down the road. Alright, so after 3 weeks of on and off working on it and more hiccups than I really wanted this thing to be a real simple fix. Hopefully we can get this thing to fire up now that we got all that done. Alright, well, I've been trying to crank at this for about half an hour and I'm running thin on patience. So I've come up with a wonderful way to lose limbs today, and I recommend never trying this at home because I'm an idiot. And instead of a breaker bar, I have a 1-foot ratchet on it. I can't get enough speed. I've gotten it to puff just a couple times. If I can't get enough speed, because all the rings I'm pretty sure are stuck, I don't have enough compression. So if I kick it over on that, I should be able to get a lot more speed. But yeah, don't try this at home. After the great failure of finding out that I have a severe problem internally somewhere letting all of my explosive gases go out through the radiator, I drug it into the shop, decided to tear it all the way down and investigate the cylinder farther. Alright, so I got the other jug swapped out. I got everything put back on it that I need to test run it. I don't have any of the water pump or any of that put back on. As you can see, it's kind of hanging out. I ain't too worried about that. I want to see if the thing will run first before I put any extra time into it right now. I put a little oil down each cylinder because I'm still pretty sure the rings in the back cylinder are probably still stuck. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire off now. After 4 weeks of pain and suffering, maybe I'll get something out of this tractor. Now that the engine's running, we'll give you a quick rundown on what's unique about this engine. This engine uses only rocker arms to actuate the valves. Doing this, they needed really long rocker arms, and the valves are in the side of the cylinder. This engine's practically headless, and of all people to design and patent this engine style, it was the Duesenberg brothers. It's kind of a neat piece of history that I didn't know about until editing this video, but it's amazing how some of those old companies connect back in the day. Alright, got the coolant lines all put back on. I've got the side covers on it so no dirt gets in them. Let's go see if this thing will back up and drive out of here.